Hello, hi, welcome to my YouTube channel Brush It Up. This video is again an art travel vlog. So it contains all the art that I've made in last couple of days, and I managed to record it while I was doing it, and a small trip that I had that I got to go to. And it was a hill station in Panchgani, which is in India, in Maharashtra. So it was a beautiful place. I really enjoyed. We'll talk more on it when we get to that part of the video. And there are sketches, watercolor paintings that I have lately been obsessed with. So let's just get into the video. Also, in this video, what I want to discuss with you guys, or like share with you guys mainly, is we often come across the concept of overthinking, right? So instead, what I've realized is I always used to consider myself an overthinker, and I always used to ponder on thoughts. Those thoughts can be as random as overthinking about when I'm in a restaurant as to what order should I place, and also about a conversation I had with my family or a friend a couple of days ago. I'm like, why do I do this? Like, this is not productive, right? But there is a lot of thought before something comes out of it. That thought in its initial stage doesn't necessarily, like in the initial stage of anything, it cannot give you an outcome. It cannot generate a product. It cannot have a productive outcome during the initial stage. And if we do everything with that point of view, if we even think, with a tendency of having this, is this productive? What I'm doing right now is productive. You stop yourself from exploring so much and stumbling upon a completely new thing by going down this lane of productivity. It should be productive. Something should come out of it. Do that thing only if something should come out of it. Everything is a profit and loss. And I think that is so wrong, especially in creative prospects, because there is so much we do and we explore and we experiment, and it's only after a lot of experimentation and a lot of exploration and wandering that we understand, okay, this is why I went down this path, this is why I was doing this is the outcome of that. But initially, many of those things might not generate into an outcome, and then if you stop yourself thinking that this is not productive, I shouldn't be doing this, it just kills so much of invention, so much of creative outcomes, so much of exploration, so much of new inventions that you can make by overthinking. Because I think most of the great minds in the world are overthinkers, right? For example, we discovered gravity because the scientists sat under that tree and saw an apple falling and gave it a thought. He didn't think that, I don't think this is productive, and maybe I shouldn't ponder on this because this is not going to get me money, this is not going to get me business, this is not going to lead to an invention probably. Because all of this, thinking like that, would never take you to a good place, take you on a right path. I think the right path is so much about the process, so much about doing the thing in spite of getting anything out of it. So much of life is about that, doing something not for the sake of doing it, investing in the process, believing in the process. So much of life is about that. And all these thinkers, all these creative minds, the people who write books, they think so much, right? Not all of their thoughts, for example, not all of the thoughts that run through an author's mind get converted into a book. Not all the experiments, not all the concepts that an Einstein had converted into an invention invention, right? People worked on his work and then it led to something. Now, not all of us are going to be Einstein. Not all of us, not all, for example, not everyone in this world will work towards something and that work will be stored and preserved and later worked on and taken forward. Not all of us are going to have that experience in life. But does that mean you don't do the thing that you want to do? Does that mean your life is a waste? Because that is so wrong. Because how I came to this thought. So I always overthink of what people talk about, of what I see, the content that I consume. So this concept is very familiar. Taylor Swift also wrote a song on it, karma, right? Karma is something you do good in the world and it comes back to you. Do bad in the world, it comes back to you. But karma concept comes from Hinduism mainly, and the concept, if you think a lot about karma and you explore and deep dive in that concept, you come to know that karma also means that if you're suffering in this life, if you're suffering today and there is no explanation as to why you're suffering, it is also because you did something wrong. And that just removes the debate about equality. Because according to karma, if you're blind in this life, or if you're blind and somebody has the gift of sight, then that person did something good and this person did something bad. If you're born rich, then you have done something good. Maybe not in this life, but in previous life, because Hinduism believes in reincarnation. Then tell me, why are we fighting for equal rights? Then tell me, why are we fighting for women rights? Then tell me, why are we fighting for Black Lives Matter? All of that concept just gets negated if you think about karma that way. And in life, we try to hold on to certain principles, certain thoughts, certain proverbs to get us through the life. But if you stick to such concepts and don't think deeply about it, I think it will take you down the wrong path. Questioning every single thing in life, I think that's the way to be. And not committing completely to one single thought, way of thinking. Because I was like, I heard about this on a podcast, and I was like, many of the things that were said in that podcast, I agree with. But many of the things that were said in that podcast, when I was reading one book, and I was like, in the morning, I tried to, connect the dots as to what I heard. It wasn't the same thing. They were completely different things. The book is completely on a different topic, and the podcast was completely on a different topic. But when I read the book, it led me to analyze what I had heard. And I was like, the book was about history of mankind and how inequality has always prevailed and history has always been unjust. And I was like, yeah, that's true. But then what we must have had some wrong thinking patterns which has led to this. And then I was like, religion has so much of role to play in this, because we don't want complicated things in our lives. So we try to simplify them, and in the process of simplifying it, such things come up where, I don't want to understand as to why you have an unfair life. I don't want to put myself in a position that I am privileged. I don't want to come to the concept of privilege. We today know the concept of privilege, right? We today know how much equality is important. But it took us a very long time to reach here and understand how much equality is needed, how much, backward classes need support, women need support, black people need support, slavery is wrong. Because we wanted to simplify things, we wanted to immediately come to conclusion and create something productive and move forward, and didn't want to think too much about such things. If we would have, then maybe we would have stumbled upon the concept of privilege a long time back. Like being born a certain gender, being born a certain race, being born in a certain religion, a certain community gives you so much of privilege, right? Not being born on the streets, being born in a family which lives in an apartment, being born in a family which lives in a bungalow, which can afford, being born in a family which helps you in your occupation, which has the occupation which has the same occupation that you want to also pursue. All of that is privilege, and that creates so much inequality, and you cannot then go back. Of course there are some good concepts that our ancestors have made, but when you go and say that karma is the concept where there is this reincarnation concept, and there is something you don't have explanation to it, then maybe at today's day you don't understand the concept that well. So accept that you don't understand the concept that well. Don't create excuses saying that karma is there because your past life was something. Don't say the blind is blind for a reason. He did something wrong, that is the reason why he is blind. Saying that is so wrong. Saying that you were born in a good family because you did something good in your past life, it's like you haven't understood life completely, and in spite of that you want to claim that you still understand it and create such wrong concepts, such as, I'm not saying concept of karma is completely wrong. I'm saying some parts of it, if you go deep dive, if you take it too seriously, then there is a true risk of committing to a wrong understanding. So that is what I wanted to talk about, and that I think there is so much talk about karma, and it is seeping into pop culture. That means it will seep into young minds, and I feel you should take everything with a pinch of salt, every human being with a pinch of salt as well. That is what I've learned. Every book with a pinch of salt. Socialize so much that you take no one that seriously. Learn from everyone and know that everyone has flaws. Every concept has flaws. Every idea has flaws. Every single state, every single country, every single religion, every single human being, even me. Of course, I have a lot of flaws. So I feel when you don't understand something, you just say that, okay, fine, I don't understand, accept the mistake. I feel rather than accepting the achievements and rather than accepting successfully decoded concept, accept and that there is a loophole in your religion. Accept that you don't understand it completely, and go discover what does this fit, and while I'm confused, accept the confusion and then try to find a solution. And while you find a solution, never do you have the arrogance of saying that I have found a solution, because all these solutions have some flaws to it. So I think you always have to keep a lot of space for something new to come in. When you understand a concept, when you understand a scientific concept, a philosophical concept, as to how your phone works, as to how your laptop works, as to how the world works. Always keep so much scope for something new to come in. Be open to the new things, because chances are we are adapting to a very wrong thing. Always be fluid, always be accepting to new things, and saying that this is overthinking and this is you shouldn't think too much and all that. Of course you shouldn't. Overthinking is not always useful, but many a times it is a lot useful. Like, look at all the great minds in the world. You can categorize all of them as overthinkers, and only if when you analyze things, when you think that, okay, fine, this is not wrong, not thinking that you know everything will lead you to know more things, will lead to learn a lot. Not thinking that you know everything will lead you to know more things in life. That is what I think. And sorry for going on in this video. I also write a blog, and I'm going to explore this concept a lot there. And I'll link the website link of my, like, I'll put that in the description. I'll put the link of the website in the description. But yeah, I just wanted to put this out there in the world. If anybody is watching this video, more, you know, art is a part of my personality, but also thinking. I'm also a lawyer. Like, I am not currently doing much in that field. Like, I would like to work more on that field, but I always thought, why didn't I take up art as a profession? Because this side of my personality exists, right? I believe that I want to also work in a creative field and also do something which is the need of the art, and which is more practical, which is what people need. So I think law services, legal services is something everybody will always need, and understanding the laws of how people operate, as to why do we think in a certain way, and always being open to analyzing, scrutinizing the way you are doing things, the way you think. It is very much necessary, because all my life I was like, do good so that good will happen to you. But I think you should do good either way, whether it comes back to you or whether it doesn't come back to you. You shouldn't do good with fear. I know this is a good way of implementing doing good in the world, if this is what works. But I think ultimately you have to reach to a place where you do good in spite of whether it comes back to you or not. Be a good person in spite. You will not get an award for doing good, but of course you will be punished if you do the wrong. That is what you have to understand. And karma, saying that somebody is in a state of affair, is in a certain state because he did something bad, and you are in a good state because you did something good, and you have no explanation. That is privilege, mind. That is pure privilege. Understand the amount of privilege that you have in your life. Understand the amount of love that you have in your life, and stop, because it will just, if you accept your weaknesses, if you accept your shortcomings, if you accept the things that you have taken for granted, it will lead you to discovering beautiful things in your life. Accepting hard things take you on a beautiful journey, and I think everybody should be a deep thinker. So please don't be like, I am I'm a doer, I'm not a thinker. If you don't apply your mind to the things you do, you won't reach anywhere. So please apply your mind to everything that you do. I think overthinking is good to a certain. Be a deep thinker, be a productive thinker. Explore ideas, explore general people behavior, and if you're doing something, if that is not leading you somewhere at this point in your life, but you find meaning in it, you find peace in it, do it. You are on a journey which you don't understand at this point in your life, but it is going to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, do it in spite of it not making sense, because that not everything in life is about profit and loss. Not everything in life is about, and you don't know how much it is you're benefiting from it. You don't know. Don't be so arrogant as to be of the opinion that you know how trends are working, you know how the algorithms are working, you know how the universe is functioning. Be stupid, think that you don't know a lot about the world. There's so much to learn out there, and keep doing what you do, and in spite of it not making sense right now, keep doing what you do. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the clips. I have just gone on a rant in this video, and I haven't talked about what's going on in the video. I have just created a completely different audio which might not be related to video that much, but I really wanted to talk on this. And people enjoy podcasts, right? So podcast kind of video as well.